Hey folks, Leader here once again. Welcome back to another movie review. Hope you enjoyed my review of Epic Grand RoboCop 3. That was a couple days ago. I am now on vacation from work. So I plan to do a lot more videos, so stay tuned for a lot more reviews and videos coming up. Yeah. So hopefully we'll be getting done with the 90s era of superhero movies. Anyway, continuing with the 90s era of superhero movies, I'm now into the year 1994. I believe there's about 5 movies of 1994. Sorry. Anyway, start with this one. This movie was released like May 13th. That's the day after my birthday. But I was just a baby when this movie came out. And this stars the late Brandon Lee. And this is a 1994 supernatural superhero film. I don't want to call it. It's supernatural too, but it's directed by Alice Portagatis, and again it stars Brandon Lee, and it's turning 30 this year. That is The Crow, starring the late Brandon Lee. Now I love this movie. This movie was great to watch again. This was definitely, in the 90s it was a fresh breath of air, fresh of air, if you will. Because in the 90s, 1993, you had Teenage Mutant Turtles 3, which was meant for kids and had bad jokes, was terrible. The Meteor Man was just a movie that had a bad tone. The tone was all over the place. It was trying to be serious, but yet be a silly comedy. The tone was all over the place, and it didn't work. But RoboCop 3 just sucked. That was watered down. But this movie, we needed it. This is a dark superhero film. This is a dark movie. It's serious. It's got a little humor in it, but this movie, trust me, this is not meant for kids. This film is a rated R movie. Yeah, it's got violence, language, drugs in here. It is a dark superhero movie. It is not meant for kids. So I can see, the darkest movie that came out that year, superhero movie that came out in '93 was obviously Batman Mask of the Phantom, but that was a dark movie. And even had a little blood in it sometimes. But so was this movie. And The Crow was great. Again, Brandon Lee, for having him. I'll mention more of that, but he, as y'all know, if y'all are fans of this movie, you'll know that he was accidentally, shot in a scene. Somebody shot him with a bullet. I think it was the actor who played Fun Boy that shot him by accident. It was an accident shooting, and, Brandon died of the bullet, and that was really sad because, he was the son of Bruce Lee, who was, the big martial artist who, did movies like, The Big Boss, I think, Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon. That's a great movie. And of course he was Kato and the Green Hornet. His father was. Brandon did some movies too. I like Showdown in Little Tokyo and I Love Rapid Fire. And this is what he was just coming into his own. He was trying to get out of his father's shadow. He was trying to make his own kind of movie. But sadly, due to this tragedy, his life being taken so short. And I think he was only, 28 when he died? Yeah. Yeah, he was 28 years old. Heck, I wasn't even born yet when he passed. But the film is based on the comic book of the same name by James O'Barr. O'Barr created the comics because he was really inspired by a Detroit newspaper account of the murder of a young couple over a $20 engagement ring. In The Crow, the protagonist Eric and his fiancée Shelley are murdered by gang criminals. Eric then returns from the dead, guided by a supernatural crow to hunt their killers, to avenge his death and Shelley's. So yeah, he was one of the comics. Created The Crow. For the reaction of the movie, James O'Barr will become The Crow as he means to cope with the unexpected death of his fiancée, who was killed by a drunk driver. The first meeting O'Barr and with a major studio was quickly dismissed. After the studio vision for the film was a musical with Michael Jackson as the lead, around the time of The Crow's publication, writer John Shirley pitched R.G. Angel to Clever Press, who turned it down due to similarities with The Crow. Shirley sought the comic out and decided to adapt it into a film. O'Barr was receptive and agreed to workshop the film with Shirley and producer Jeff Most. Turned down a significant offer from New Line Cinema in the process. O'Barr oversaw these different treatments by Shirley and Most before directly collaborating on the first 2 drafts of the screenplay. Shirley penned the third and fourth draft by himself, which awarded him screenplay credit by the Writers Guild of America. Most claimed to have written a substantial proportion of the script, but was denied credibility role in the Luigi and the WGA, which promoted producers from receiving credit. The addition of producer Edward Pressman gave The Crow the further momentum. Australian filmmaker Alice Burrows was hired to direct the film. Power Pictures picked up the distribution rights and shot it and saluted on August 1993 release date. River Phoenix and Christian Slater were early considerations for Eric Draven. Shirley and most pushed for Slater. Pressman won the River Phoenix. Brandon Lee was suggested to play Draven, but O'Barr was unconvinced. Frank he wouldn't be suited for the material. However, Lee won him over, was given the role shortly thereafter. Lee dropped 20 pounds to portray Draven. He worked out. Brandon watched his diet. He did a lot of exercising. Of course, Brandon Lee was in good shape. He worked closely with the crew to shape the film. He choreographed some of the action scenes, which have in medium, performing most of his own stunts. Moving a subplot due to his Asian stereotyping. Rochelle Davis, Ernie Hudson, Michael Winscott, Baleen, Tony Todd, David Patrick Kelly, John Paul wrote out the supporting cast. Filming production began with The Crow in February 1903. North Carolina was scheduled to last 54 days. From what I heard, the film was a hard shoot because a lot of it was filmed in the rain and the dark. And a lot of the actors, it was, they went crazy. Well, I don't know, because they'd been working on this movie for long hours of a day. They had breakfast, like, they had lunch, like early in the morning, and breakfast at nighttime. So they were, some people were getting hurt. Their accidents happened on set. Yeah. And from what I heard, Brandon Lee did do his own stunts in movies, from what I've heard. And he would try, from what I heard also, that he tried to put ice packs on his body because he wanted to know what it felt like to be dead. He wanted to really get into his character. Brandon Lee was very dedicated to doing this movie. But the thing about Brandon's death, on March 31st, 1993, Lee was filming a scene where his character Eric is shot after witnessing the beating and rape of his fiancée. After Michael Messies, who played Fun Boy, fires a 4-foot Magnum Smith over Lee as he walks into the room. A scene filmed 2 weeks before Lee had called for the same gun to be shown close-up. Although it was often used dummy, in this movie did use a lot of guns, dummy cartridges filled with bullets, but no powder or primer. During close-ups, they were more realistic than blank rounds, which had no bullet. Instead of purchasing dummy cartridges, the film's plot crew hampered time and money, created on by pulling the bullets from live rounds, dumping the powder but not the primer, then resisting the bullets. Witnesses have reported that 2 weeks before Lee's death, they saw an unsupervised actor pulling the trigger on the gun while it was loaded with the primed round. Having not removed the primer could detonate with enough energy to launch a bullet and launch it into the barrel. In the fatal scene, which called for the revolver to be actually fired at Lee from a distance, 12 feet, 15 feet, the dummy cartridges were exchanged with blank round. Features a light powder charge and primer, but no bullet. Thus allowing the gun to be fired without the risk of natural protege. As a production company has sent firearms specialists home early, responsibility for the guns was given to a prop assistant who was unaware of the rule of inspecting all firearms before and after any handling. Therefore, the barrel was not checked for obstructions, and when the time came to load it with the blank rounds, since the bullet from the dummy round was already trapped in the barrel. This caused the 44 Magnum bullet to be fired out of the barrel with literally the same place that the gun had been loaded with a live round, and Brandon, his key was to come into the scene with the headphones on, because his character was a musician, felt like a rock star, and when he comes in, Fun Boy shoots him, and it's struck Lee in the abdomen, struck him right here, mortally wounding him. After Lee's death, the producers were faced with the decision of whether or not to continue with the film. Lee had completed most of the scenes for the film. They were scheduled to shoot for only 3 more days. The rest of the cast and crew, except for Ernie Hudson, whose brother-in-law had just died, stayed in Wilmington. Paramount Pictures was intensely interested in distributing The Crow. Originally a direct-to-video feature, due to delays in filming and some of the violent content being given Lee's death. However, Miramax picked it up with the intention of releasing it in theaters and generated $8 million budget to complete the production. The cast and crew then took a break for short rewrites of the flashback scenes that had to be completed, which was not Brandon. I believe it was another actor. If you don't see Brandon's face in those flashbacks. Sometimes you do, but some of those were reshoots, I believe. It was a Lee stunt double, Chad Stavrok, was used as a stand-in. Oh, Chad, oh yeah, this guy directed some of the John Wick movies. Yeah. was used as a stand-in additional face replacement, was used to supervise Lee's face on the head of the devil. The beginning of the movie, which had not been finished, was rewritten, and the apartment scene remade using computer graphics from the early scene of Lee. A character from the original comic book called Skull Cowboy was really planned to be part of the adaptation, and he acted as a guy for Eric Reardon between the worlds of the dead and living. He was said to be played by Michael Berryman, but the role was cut from the film due to Lee's death. Overall, later remarked that losing Lee was like losing his parents all over again, and he regretted ever writing the comic in the first place. Well, you wrote a great comic, and it's not really, it was an accident. It's not really anybody's fault. Well, in my opinion, for Brandon Lee's death, they should have maybe checked the gun before using it, make sure it was handled well, make sure it was a dummy cartridge, and make sure it was not a bullet in there. You know, at least have somebody check it. You know, I get it. They probably filmed the movie, people are out of their minds. It's probably hard making a movie for long out periods of hours of time and a lot of work. And you get tired. You know, we're all human, we get tired. This movie did win the best song for Stone Temples. Brandon Lee was nominated for Best Actor. Too bad he passed away. I'm like, Heath Ledger got a performance for his performance of the Joker, got an Oscar for an award for his performance of the Joker, but Brandon Lee couldn't get an Oscar for that, for Best Actor, or an MTV Movie Award. I'm like, you know, that's why I hate Oscar movie awards, whatever you want to fucking call it. I hate that. But the original soundtrack with the crew features songs from the film. Big soundtrack. The sequels, you have 3 sequels, which is Crow, City of Angels. I think you have the TV series, which are really not interesting, but then you have the Crow's Salvation. Then you have the Crow Wicked Prayer, which is terrible. Now they're doing a remake, which honestly, I know there was the trailer that came out this week, but I heard it was not very good. Yeah, of course. Oh god, look at this. Yeah, this is the remake coming out this year. That poster looks terrible. The Crow was released on VHS and Laserdisc multiple times between 1994 and 1998, and on DVD. This DVD was released on March 20, 2001. On my DVD, I do have a bit of behind the scenes, and you do some interviews with Brandon Lee about the movie, and some of the cast as well. But this year, I believe, the film's, you're going to get a 4K edition, Blu-ray 4K edition of the film for 30th anniversary on May 7th, 2024 this year. So, yep. I definitely want to get this film on the 4K. I don't have 4K, but as long as it's on Blu-ray, and I love the film cover. I love the artwork of it. It looks great. But anyway, the film got positive reviews from film critics. It has a cult following, which it deserves. Okay, for the cast, you have Brandon Lee as Eric Draven, the Crow. Again, the Crow is an anti-hero. The Crow is a supernatural brother that serves as the potential link between the living world and the realm beyond. Kind of like the world of the dead. The Crow is capable of resurrecting people who may have been murdered so that their victims may be able to seek justice on the person or people responsible for their death. The story is said to come from an old Native American legend. During the rebuild, the Crow serves as a guide, helping the individual tap into his potential and assisting in tracking down the wrongdoers. The Crow only the reborn unless he wants it. The Crow speaks to the reborn after helping guide him to his after revenge. The Crow is a reborn and if harmed or killed, the reborn becomes vulnerable. However, the Crow also seems to be much more enduring. Yeah, and of course they can't feel pain, can't be shot, which I'll get more. But Brandon Lee did a great job. We definitely miss Brandon Lee. Like I said, I enjoyed Showdown World Tokyo. I want to see Laser Mission, The Legacy of Rage. Gotta check those movies out. Rochelle Davis as Sarah. She did a great job. Yeah, this movie has a kid in it, but you know what? She's not annoying. She does a really good job. Rochelle did a really good job. You have Ernie Hudson. He was in movies like Ghostbusters 1 and 2. He was in Ghostbusters, known for that. And The Basketball Diaries, Miss Congeniality, I can't say it right. There it is, he was in that. He was in Congo, which I like Congo. He was in Leviathan with Peter Willard of that movie. And The Champions, he was in that. And he did some TV shows as well, but mainly people should know him for Ghostbusters as well. Michael Wincott as Top Dollar, Canadian actor. The only movie I know that he played the villain, I think, was in an Eddie Murphy movie. Metro. He was great in that too. played a psychopath in that. He was in Alien Resurrection, Born on the 4th of July. But really good actor, Michael Wincott. Bailing, she was really good in the movie as Micah. She did some other movies too. Oh, she was in Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith, Senator, playing a senator? Well, I didn't know that. And Sylvia Shins as Shelley Webster. Anna Levine as Darla. David Patrick Kelly's T-Bird. I should remember him in the words, "Warriors come out to play." Yeah, good actor. Malcolm X, and he was in Commando. Andrew David as Skank. Lawrence Mason as Tintin. Tony Todd as Grange. I think people should know him for, Candyman. And he also did another superhero movie, TV show. He was in the movie Hellfest, and of course the superhero show I'm talking about, he voiced Zoom in the Flash, and Venom in Spider-Man 2, 2023. Okay, he voiced Venom, cool. Joan Polito as Gideon. He was in The Rocketeer, another superhero movie, and he also was the main villain in Blank Man, starring Damian Wayans. Bill Ramon as Mickey. Marco Rodriguez as Ted Torres. It was directed by Alex Borges. He directed I Robot, Will Smith. That's a great movie. I love that film. Screenplays by David J. Sherwood. I can't say his name right. John Shirley. The Crow by James O'Barr. Produced by Edward R. Pressman, Jeff Most. Cinematography is by Davis. Well, I'll butcher that completely. Edited by Scott Smith. I can't say his name right. Sorry. Music by Graham Reville. He's done music, I think, for other superhero movies too, a little bit. Music for he did music for Mighty Morphin the Power Ranger movie, which is another superhero film. Street Fighter, Daredevil. He did the music score for that. Love the score to the Daredevil. It was good composer. Just check it out. Miramax film. It was released May 13th, 1994 here in the U.S. It's 101 minutes long. The budget was $23 million. At the box office, made $94 million worldwide. The film was also dedicated to Lee and his fiancée, who he was going to marry, and he don't have a life with that due to the tragedy. Anyway, I know we're in 17 minutes in. I'm sorry. Alright, well, for the plot of The Crow, the plot synopsis is that the night before his wedding, which is Halloween night, or they call Devil's Night in this movie, is that musician Eric Draven and his fiancée are brutally murdered by members of a violent inner-city gang on the anniversary of their death. 1 year after their death, Eric rises from the grave and assumes the gothic mantle of The Crow, a supernatural adventure, tracking down the thugs responsible for the crimes and murdering them. Eric eventually confronts the head gang leader, Top Dollar, who wants to, of course, is in charge of that gang. Top Dollar is the main villain of the movie, and of course he wants, and there's a fight between them at the end of the movie, and of course he has to, what Eric is set out to do here is, avenge his death and Shelley's, and of course reunite with her in the afterlife. And that's pretty much the plot of the movie in a nutshell for you. But anyway, we'll talk about the film itself. I'm sorry for taking a little long. But I'm glad I could do a little more videos, hopefully this week. So now my water. I'm going to talk about the movie itself, give my final thoughts on it. But the movie starts off with, I really love the cinematography, the way the film is shot, the way it's dark. See, this film was mostly filmed in the dark and rain, and it looks great. This film is perfectly set in the dark nighttime and rain time. It's perfectly set for that. And this is where you get a line from the narration from Sarah. People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes something is so bad that happens, a terrible sadness is carried within it. Souls can't rest. Then sometimes, just sometimes, the crow can bring that soul back to put the wrong things right. You know, as we get October 30th, Devil's Night, and you see Sergeant Albert, Ernie Hudson, at the scene of the crime. You know, Shelley Webster's still alive, but she was beaten and raped. Eric is dead. He was pushed out of the window. But they had no evidence who it was. People in the building won't talk out of fear. You find out they were dead. Let me spoil it. They were dead because apparently they were supposed to sign an agreement with them or make some kind of agreement with them, and Eric Draven is a musician. Him and Shelley are engaged. Sarah is this little girl that hangs out with him because her mother, is not really the best mother. His mother raised her, not a very good mother. She does change her. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. But, Eric is a musician. He's a rock star. Very good at it. And, of course, he's going to marry the love of his life until one day he comes home, she's getting raped, and they get murdered. And, Sarah comes over and says, "Hey, Shelley, you okay?" She's like, "Well, Shelley, you okay?" She's like, "Where's Eric?" He's like, "Eric will be fine." He's like, "You lied to her about Eric." He's like, "I had to." Ernie hasn't told her. Because he didn't want to worry her, but she's injured right now. She goes to the hospital to give Shelley a hug. And sadly, Shelley dies of her injuries. The movie passes to 1 year later. Her mother, daughter, is a neglect and a drug addict too. One year later, we see the crow, the bird. I wish, you don't have the crow himself, but when the bird is flying, the crow is flying. Looks amazing. Cinematography looks very practical for 1994. Looks great. But the crow taps on his grave to wake him up. Eric wakes up. He's frantic. He's screaming. I mean, this guy's just dead. He's taking his clothes off, walking on the streets. Goes back to his apartment. Shelley's apartment is trash. Like it's just forgotten about. Like it's like them dead itself. You see him, grab him by the window, and he had blood on his hand, but the blood, it heals up real quickly. Eric decides to, of course, look at pictures of Shelley. He has these flashbacks of when they spend time together, with Sarah, all their moments together, and he's haunted by these memories. When he touches something, I forgot to mention, when he touches, and when he touches something, he can see the memories of it in his head. It gives him flashbacks. And he puts on this, it's kind of like Stingray, the wrestler, puts on the white makeup, as he remembers, having the white mask, and he uses that as makeup with a crow on the shoulder, and just, you get that great, good music song playing there. Seeing they have a cat too. The cat's still there. I'm like, wow. Apparently the cat's been there by itself a year without food or water, and it survived this long. Okay, maybe the cat just ate rats. But it's just a movie. But I like the shot when you see his face for the first time. Looks amazing. Looks awesome. But anyway, along with the gang headed by T-Bird, are setting fires in the city. He remembers that, of course, it was T-Bird and his gang, that it was Tintin, Funboy, and Skank. And Eric, like I said, he can't get hurt. He's immune to physical harm because he's dead, so you can't shoot him or whatever because he's pretty much like immortal. Well, he's already dead, basically. Then, of course, you got the whole thing with him wearing the dark clothes and stuff, and even the jacket in the movie that he steals from Tintin. Yeah, but you do have a gang, talking. Funboy is kissing Darla. You see Sarah and Ernie Hudson talking, and you see that they become good friends. And, talking about eating a hot dog, and Ernie Hudson's getting the guy. I was like, no, I don't care. I want onions on my hot dog. And Sarah goes up and is like, so what you buying? You buying? So you tell her that over this 1 year that they become really good friends. And she goes to Funboy and she says, and I have a friend and he's a cop. He's like, and her mom gives her money. Again, her mom is a drug addict, neglects her, and Fun Boy teases her by saying, I know a cop, he's my friend. You know, they're making out in the back accident, or fooling around by pointing guns, because they're psychopaths, and they do fire, 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 fire. They just have these way of yelling and screaming at each other randomly. They're football players that, you know, committed, you know, did a touchdown, but instead, you know, fire and chaos is what they love doing. The Crow ends up locating first 1010. 1010's the guy with the black coat, and he's got knives. He's like, hey freak, what are you doing, Crow? And Eric's walking up to him. He's like, come on. And they decide to fight, have a little fight, and then turns him down. He questions him. He's like, you know, listen, shut up and listen. Her woman name was Shelley. She was raped and murdered. He's like, I remember I murdered a lot of people. And he tells him, you know, yeah, I raped her in a little pink dress. And then Eric gets distracted. Somebody tries to like, come on, let's have some fun. Pulls up these knives and shit, and you know, shows it. Throw the knives to Eric. Eric's like this. You know, stops him like something. He's like, try again, try harder, try again. And then I like it when he like catches the knife like this with his hands. Yeah. And he asks him, where did you get this? And you find out, you know, information he learns about a guy named Gideon. He puts all of his knives, takes his jacket, you know, puts all his knives in his heart and in his chest, like about, I think, 7 or 8 knives in his chest, puts blood of a crow on it, you know, and Eric Hudson, you know, he's seen 1010 dead body, one with his, you know, this cop, this lieutenant or detective who's a douchebag to him, so, you know, mocks him for being a cop. He got fired for being a cop, or got off the force because he asked too many questions, or he was just trying to investigate, you know, Eric and Shelley's death, but they just set him off of it, and he's going through a divorce with his wife, and this cop is just, you know, the detective is just a douchebag to him. And he's like, well, detective, you know, that's blood, but in your case, you would probably call it graffiti. He's like, alright, get out of here. You're in my crime scene. Eric then goes to Poncho to Joan Palladio. Joan Palladio scares him, you know, he's like this, hey asshole, we're closed. Did you hear me? He's knocking. And he knocks on the door and he does a song like, oh well, I am rapping. Didn't you hear me rapping at the door? And then he's like, there was a ring here, my wife's ring. Where is it at? He's like, oh, what are you talking about? And then, you know, he stabs him in the hand. I was like, now you listening? And he sees the ring. He's like, got a shotgun in his face. He's like, be quiet now, listen. He's like, each of these is a life you helped destroy. He's like this. I said, no, I'm not going to kill you. He doesn't kill Gideon, just tells him, you know, puts gasoline. He's like, leave a message, tell Top Dollar, tell the gang, T-Burners gang, death is coming for them, but they just don't know it yet. And then he's going to shoot it, and Joe Polito, Gideon just runs out of there, halfway on fire. He's pissed off about his place being burned. And we meet the villain in the movie Top Dollar, Emma Micah, his sister, or he says so, probably his lover, but they're psychopaths. They I guess have a threesome with this woman, and they murder her. You know, Top Dollar was going off about how his father was. And he's like, well, we enjoyed her, didn't we? And of course, T-Bar goes to tell him about what happened to 1010. Gideon eventually, you know, warns Top Dollar about it. The crime boss. He thinks Gideon's making him all look. Gideon's just crazy. And he's got a sword. He's like, tell me the truth. He's like, you're a lunatic. You're crazy, you know. And he tells him, you know, he's like, death's coming for you, and you just don't know yet. And he's like, oh, really? Well, I can see this now. And, you know, finally, Top Dollar, who's fed up with him, with the sword, you know, stabs the sword and Gideon's neck, throat. He's like this, oh, for fuck's sake, die already, you know, and then just shoots him. Next, Eric pretty much, you know, thanks to the help of the Crow. The Crow looks at the person, and Eric insists that psychically, with the Crow's eyes, sees where Fun Boy's at, and he's with Darla in his apartment. He's like, man, go away, man, you and the Crow, freak, get out. And he's like, you remember me? And then he puts the gun to his head. Go ahead, shoot the gun, and then he puts the gun right here. His hand, he shoots him, he's like, ow. Fun was like, and you see the bullet hole through his hand kind of just go back. Yeah. And after that happens, he shoots Fun Boy knocks him out. And he speaks to Darla. He's like this, you know, God says our mothers need to be there for our children. Your daughter needs you. Morphine is going to kill you. This drug is going to kill you. Stop what you're doing. Be a good mom. And Darla just runs the heck out of there. First she thinks that, you know, Eric's going to hurt her, but he's not. After he tells her to be a good mother, straighten her out. He straightens her out. And she runs the heck out of there. Tony Todd sees his friends up there, sees the Crow for a minute, and the Crow, you know, Eric from Eric's like, shh, you know, goes away real quick. Eric then ends up killing Fun Boy with an overdose of morphine. He stabs it all of it in his chest with a blood sample of the Crow, with a painting of blood on his chest of a crow. After blowing, I forget to mention, after he blew Gideon's place, he runs Ernie Hudson. You know, he's like, come on, dude, what's wrong with you? You know, he's like this, you don't remember me, do you? But then he goes to visit Ernie Hudson, explaining, you know, who he is, tells him that he's Eric and that he's here to avenge her death. He's like, I need to know what you know of the last moments. You know, by touching a person's head, he can see your memories. He's like, you were with Shelley. He's like, this, don't touch me. You know, he's like, you were with Shelley. Thank you. He's like, I'm sorry what happened to you. And the girlfriend's like, yeah, but it happened to you and Shelley. I'm real sorry. They kind of bond a friendship. He's like, you're not going to poof away this time, are you? And he's like, okay. And he's like, this time I'll use your front door. He goes to continue his vengeance, his justice. But realizing that Shelley's death that she suffered for 30 hours before dying. And he can also feel her pain. T-Bird and Skank stop at a convenience store to get some supplies. I like it when they're both like, fire, you know. But, you know, Eric sneaks into the car to grab, you know, T-Bird and gives him the drive fast. They get chased by a cop. But Skank is like this, you know, tries to go after them. Gets run over by a car. He's like, you mom, where you going? And, you know, he knocks the guy out and steals his car, chases them. The police wreck into him. And Eric, you know, takes him up, you know, to use the duct tape. I'm sorry, man, I think you need clean murders. Murders happens all the time. You don't have to do this. And he's begging him, but Eric sets him off to kill, to let him go, you know, puts the gas, you know, and gets T-Bird to crash the car into the river, blowing it up. He straps explosives to him, to the car, you know. It's the dark sense of humor that Eric has. And Eric's like this. Bye. And killing T-Bird. And then you get that scene where he lights up on fire a crow. You know, that sign of the crow. And him walking away. Really great music score in that scene too. Fantastic music score. Oh yeah, Dark Knight Rises ripped that off. Yeah. Yeah. And there's moments of the film, like I said, this film is well shot too. The cinematography is beautiful in this movie for the rain, for when it's raining in the dark, at nighttime. Scenes where he's like, at the beginning, running to go find Tintin. Really amazing shot. I forgot to mention, he jumps off the roof and is laughing. Meanwhile, Sarah and her mother begin to, she starts calling mom dollars. Her mom tries to bake eggs for her, makes breakfast for her. Sarah ends up going to Eric's apartment and says, "Eric, are you here, Eric?" And she just said to the cat, he's like, "Eric, I thought you," he's like, and she tries to talk to Eric to get him to come out to talk to him. He's like, Eric, she says, "Eric, the hell with you. I thought you cared." He's like, "I do care, Sarah." And they give each other a hug. And they can't be friends no more because he's not a wife. He's to, go on to do, his unfinished business to avenge the death of Shelley. But he still cares about her. She goes during Hudson, they talk about him. Talk about that they've seen Eric, or they've just maybe seen someone just like him, even though Hudson doesn't want to believe it. But now they do. Anyway, Skank goes to Top Dollar and complains about it. Tells him what happened. He's like, he's getting he's got tough voice, silly voice. And the thing is, Michael Wincott, as Top Dollar, he's got that deep down dark voice. I can't do it well, but he does it really great. He's like, make sure he's not going anywhere. Top Dollar holds a meeting with his associates, his inner gangs, plans for Devil's Night activities. He's like this. Greed, chaos, anarchy. That's what I love. Let's just have fun. And then they see the Crow's like, "Have that Crow in here." And then then Eric shows up. Eric's like, "Gentlemen, I'm here. I just want him." Skank is like, "Well, you can't have him." I was like this. "Well, I'm going to take him. Now, if you've done your order, now enforce it." He's like, Doctor's like, "Okay, I'm born to listen to this shit. Kill this guy." And all the bad guys start shooting at him. And he's like, but the bullets can't hurt him, but he falls to the ground. They say, "Well, is he dead?" And then Eric shoots him. Eric's like, like he's a freaking raptor from Paul Hall or something. I shoot the guy. Shootout happens. Badass action scene. He grabs a sword. I think there was a bit of an extended scene here as well. Yeah, extended scene, more of the violence, but he, uses his, Top Dollar has these swords, knives, and Eric grabs one and was like, "You're all gonna die." And, he stabs one guy. You see a little bit more of the blood, but in here in this cut, in the original movie, you see him just cut the arm, but it's a little more. And he even cut the guy's hand off as well. But he fights the bad guys, he shoots them all, kills them all. Then he gets Skank, he's like on top of the table. Skank's like hiding in there, he pulls a sword, and Skank goes around, he's like, "It's a good day to be a bad guy." He's like, "Hey, bad guy, he's Skank." And Eric grabs him, throws him out the window, and Skank falls to his death. The cops try to shoot him, like, "Freeze, we're going to shoot you if we don't." Like I say, he's a dark sense of humor where he's just, Eric puts his hands up then. Skips. Gets away from the police. The police are chasing him down, killing him. We'll come close to it. But he's running, running away on top of the rooftops. Ernie Hudson shows up to help him. And he's like, "Man, I'm glad I helped you, man." And then he's like, "Oh." And then he just goes, "Oh, we did what we can." And then Top Dollar and, Micah and Tony Todd figured out, it's like that crow is his link to the stupid, she gets the photo of the crow, like, it's like the crow is between his world. Well, she tried to grab the crow earlier when Eric showed up to the meeting, but the crow flew away. But anyway, they figured, what? If we kill the crow, we hurt the crow, then he killed the man. Eric pretty much, I guess you can say, has finished his quest, has got his revenge. But like I said, he's an anti-hero, he's got to become a hero at the end of the movie. Sarah goes to say goodbye to him, just to say goodbye, and the crow's there. he gives, show his engagement ring, just to remember them by, as they were her friends, that, they miss each other, But Tony Todd grabs her, they take her to a nearby church. Top Dollar and Micah are waiting. Eric, sees the vision of the crow and sees what happens. Her calling his name Eric. And he confronts Top Dollar. He's like, this man, you're the ghost. But Tony Todd's got like a sniper and he shoots the crow. And Eric becomes vulnerable. He shoots, he's like, do what you best. I'm like, let her go. If you let her go now, I'll let you walk out for free. He's like, nah, Mr. Birdman, that ain't gonna happen. Top Dollar shoots him right here. He's like, oh, damn. He's like this. They're pretty good with that. Your claw punches him in the face. Micah ends up grabbing the crow to take its mystical power. Ernie Hudson always tend to pay his respects to her, but just as one dude, Top Dollar, ties up Sarah. Tony Todd is shooting at Ernie Hudson, and so is Top Dollar, but Tony Todd gets shot and killed by Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson gets shot by Micah. And, Eric tells him, I'm just immortal now, because of what happened to the bird. But he runs back up there. She shows him, I will have his bird's mystical powers now. But the crow, I guess having enough Micah, really, gouges her eyes out with his mouth. The bird starts pecking at her eyes. And she, jumps on the bell and falls to her death. And Top Dollar has, Sarah at knife point. Top Dollar and Eric have a fight. Eric is the son of a church. This cross statue a little bit, and he's able to pick up. And he's having a bit of a sword fight with Top Dollar. Sword fight nearly, stabs Eric right here. I was like, I'm real sorry about you and the lady friends. But let me tell you something, friend. Boy, you made bring a real smile to my face. I'm gonna miss you. I'm sorry for what happened to you and your girlfriend. I was like, was that enough to finally kill him? I'm gonna miss you a lot. And he was like, what I'm gonna give you? Top Dollar, 30 seconds of pain. So he gives his powers back, and he grabs Top Dollar, and he gives him those 30 hours of pain. And you see Top Dollar just, bleeding, his face is bleeding out, nose is bleeding. Then he throws him down to his death, and he saves Sarah before she falls, gives her a hug, and they go back there. Down there, Harrison is like, he's a smoker. He's like, I'm gonna quit smoking. His life is like, and he tells her, Sarah, stay with him until the police show up. Bye-bye. Well, and he's like, and he just disappears. And Harrison looks at Sarah. Harrison looks at Sarah. He's like, he does that. The movie ends with him going to the hospital, getting fussed up by the douchebag detective, but he just ignores the guy. Sarah ends up going home. Pay her respects finally to Eric. But when Top Dollar died, though, he falls off the roof of the church, but he falls. He becomes impaled by the horse of the Gorgal. His stomach's right here, and he goes into the mouth of the Gorgal. Right there. So a pretty bloody death for Top Dollar, which he had a well-deserved death. Eric goes to the back to the grave. And he's like, Shelley. And they give each other a kiss, and they reunite in the afterlife. As you can see, that they're soulmates, and they're going to be together forever in the afterlife. And Sarah does pay her final respect to the cemetery, and where the crow is. And she was upon the night. When Eric first sees it, I've got to mention, he says this is a great line, it can't rain all the time. Which, Sarah knew it was him. And the movie ends there, but Sarah ends with a narration saying, if the people we love are stolen from us, the way to live is never to stop loving them. Buildings burn, people die, but real love is forever. And that's the ending of The Crow. Let me read some quotes from this movie, because I think this movie has some really awesome quotes. Really good dialogue too. Here, mother is the name of God, for God, on the lips and hearts of the children, of all children. Do you understand? Morphine is bad for you. Your daughter's out there in the streets waiting for you. Please don't move. I said don't move. I thought the police always said freeze. Well, I am the police, and I said don't move. Snow White, you moved your head and say I'm dead. I moved. What do? You crazy? You're the guy that murdered Tintin? He was already dead. He died a year ago. The moment he touched her. They're all dead. They just don't know it yet. One boy, Jesus Christ, stop me if you're here at this point. Jesus Christ walks into the hotel. One boy shoots him. Oh, he hands the handkeeper 3 nails and he asks, don't you ever fucking die? And then Funboy's like, don't you ever fucking die? And he's like, can you put me up for the night? Little things used to mean so much to Shelley. I used to think they were kind of trivial. Believe me, nothing is trivial. Suddenly I heard a tapping of someone gently rapping at my door. What are you talking about? You heard me rapping, right? Were you supposed to be a clown or something? Sometimes. I bet as the devil stood and felt how awful it was. Is that gasoline I smell? Top dollar. Dad gave me his 5th birthday. He said, Charles, look at the moment, you know you're going to die. I have something to give you. I don't want to 30 hours of pain all at once, all for you, top dollar. Our friend T-Bird won't be joining us in the account of a slight case of death. Cruel pleasure for you, Coco. Bang, bang. Fuck, I'm dead. Are you going to vanish into the thin air again? I thought I'd use your front door. Greed is a terminus. Disorder, chaos, anarchy. That's fun. That's him, but he's so different. He was all painted like wild, like some sort of damn world. I saw him, T-Bird, he sent into the world with birds, and then he threw him away. I chased him down in the fast T-Bird fucking car. T-Bird, no, it goes to you, buddy. Did you see the grave? Empty. Grave, what grave? What about my fucking grave? 3 out of 4. He's working his way to speak to right here. It's Funboy's fault. That boy was out of control. T-Bird, he came in instead. Listen, both, and now this ghost going to kill his ass next. I know you, T-Bird says, I know you, but you ain't you can't be, we're supposed to use the word, there ain't no coming back. This is the real world. This is the really real world. There ain't no coming back. We killed your dead. There ain't no coming back. There ain't no coming back. There ain't no coming back. Yeah, I know, my daddy used to be saved from that devil, and you can't rest till you find him. What happened to back there? With your girlfriend, I cleared up the building. Hell, nothing this time happens without my say-so. So I'm sorry if I spoiled your wedding plans there, friend. But if there's any consolation to you, yeah, put a smile on my face. For ghosts, you bleed just fine. Oh, this is already pointless. Shut up, mate. Kill him! So you're him, huh? The adventure of the killer of killers. Nice outfit. I'm not sure about the face, though. Yeah, and who might that be? Well, gentlemen, by all means, I think we ought to have a moment of silence for our poor Tintin. Now, I want y'all to see a fire so goddamn big. You guys will notice this again. That's what I'm saying. I want all you boys to be able to look me straight out of the eye one more time and say, are we having fun or what? Hey, you, what's your name, Skank? You don't feel that? I feel like a woman with a big fucking hook. I feel like a woman with a big fucking hook. Little boy, your mama just be damn proud of you. It's all been done before, you see what I'm saying? But, you know, that's all the dialogue. I mean, that's the quote. The dialogue from the movie. I just wanted to read that really quick. But anyway, give my final opinion on the quote. Anyway, my final opinion on this movie. The Crow, this is a classic. This is one of the best superhero movies ever made, in my opinion. This film is great. It's dark. It's got a little bit of humor there. It's got a really... What I love about it is the dark tone. The tone is perfectly good for this movie. It is dark. It is a little bit needed after some of the movies we got in 93. I don't mean Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I mean after 3 films like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Meteor Man, and RoboCop 3. After getting those films, we need a movie like this to be more for adults, to not be watered down, not to be, not to just to be really good. This really had a good story. I like the story. It plays life and death really well. I get the theme of this movie is that the way I see with The Crow is that love is forever, basically. No matter who dies, you remember the people that died. I think that's what the message of the movie is about. That's what The Crow means to me. This is when Sarah ends the dialogue of the movie, is that love is forever, no matter what. We miss Brandon Lee. We all miss him. And, love is forever. It really is. It always is. But The Crow is a classic because of the story. The story's really good, great lines of dialogue. Brandon Lee does a great job. He gives a great performance. This is one of the best performances I've ever seen on film. He is fantastic. The makeup and stuff really works. His dialogue is great. He is this character. He is The Crow. No, Bill Skarsgård, whatever the hell his name is, I played it. No, The Crow 2024 remake. This is what I think of that fucking movie. Screw that movie. I'm never going to see it. I'll stick to this. Is to me, this is the true Crow. No sequel will ever top it. The only sequel I liked was Salvation, to be honest. City of Angels I thought was alright, but I did like Salvation for what it was. The Wicked Prayer, that sucked, and I'm sure this remake will suck. This is the only movie you need. This is the real Crow, the only Crow movie that is great. Why is it a classic? Well, you have a great cast. It's got a really good story. The music of Grandma was great. Some of the music choices, the music was really good. I love the scenes, and some of the shots of the flashbacks are really good on, and the cinematography, the editing, the action scenes are really good. And the bottom line, it has a good story, and you feel bad for Eric Draven. He was just a guy, an innocent guy that was murdered, and you want to see him avenge the death of him and his girlfriend. Of his girlfriend, soon to be his fiance, and him. And he does. And top dollar, Michael Winscott was great. So great villains in here. Great movie. Loved it. If it's 101 minutes long, but it doesn't feel like it. It goes by at a really good pace. It's got an interesting story. The story keeps, it's interesting to keep you watching. And it's not a long movie. It's a great film. I can't think of any negatives. No, it's a perfect movie in my opinion. It's a great movie. I say it's one of the best movies of all time, one of the best superhero movies of all time. Yeah, I'll say it. It is a visually stunning movie. The visuals are great. The cinematography is great. The acting is great, especially by Brandon Lee. Who, may he rest in peace. This is a little tribute video for him too. So sad that he died. He was taken from us. Who knows? He could have done a lot more great action movies, a lot more great roles like The Crow. He could have done a sequel to The Crow. That would have been awesome if he was starring in it. But probably wouldn't have happened since The Crow can be, I guess, another person. Which they did with the sequels, but none of that top of this. In my opinion. And I like The Crow. The Crow looks practical, and, the shots of the Crow flying looks really good. The cinematography, the shots of the city are really good. Great dialogue. Fun, awesome movie. You can say it's kind of an action movie too, but a revenge story. But Eric trying to gain his vengeance to avenge his death and his wife's, and it works really well. It's a great movie. I don't know what else to say, but The Crow is a classic movie. So my rating for The Crow is, I'm going to give The Crow 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up for The Crow. So guys, tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of The Crow in your opinion with Brandon Lee? Have you seen the sequels? But mainly, and what are your thoughts on Brandon Lee as The Crow? And have you ever seen any of Brandon Lee's movies? I've seen Showdown in Tokyo, he did with Dolph Lundgren, and Rapid Fire. Great movie. Good films. But The Crow is a great movie. Don't know what else I can say about it, but classic movie. Love this film. I definitely recommend it if you've never seen it. Alright guys, stay tuned for the next superhero review. which will be the Fantastic Four, which is the 1994 film. I think it's Roger Corman's versions. I've never seen this movie. I know it's not released, but I'm going to watch the movie on YouTube. Probably review it on Sunday, so. Anyway, guys. So stay tuned for that review for the Fantastic Four, the 1994 film. Roger Corman's Fantastic Four film. And I hope you enjoyed my review of The Crow, starring the late Brandon Lee. Again, rest in peace, Brandon Lee. So tragic, sad, what happened to you. You didn't deserve that, Brandon. You deserved a full-on life. He could have been in the Expendables movies. He could have done a lot more movies, but so sad that he passed away. But anyway, guys, tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of The Crow in your opinion? Alright, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And please share my channel with all your friends and family. Please share my channel with other people. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about The Crow in the comments down below. Alright. Awesome movie. Remember, it can't rain all the time. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Bye.